everybody. Dave Brown and Corey Macklin here at ringside, and we're ready to go with another day of USWA Championship Wrestling. Hello, Corey.
Hello, Dave. We've got another big one today. Opening bout a newcomer. I think the fans are going to like him, too. Tony DiNucci. He's going to be in the opener. Then we'll see Brian Christophers. He's scheduled today. Jeff Jarrett in a single bout as well. Superstar Bill Dundee, Nightmare Danny Davis on the card, and the Masters of Terror. Had our first look at them last week. Impressive team, and they're going to be back out here a little later on today. Got a full day today.
You're absolutely right. You were talking about Tony DiNucci. We've heard a lot about him. We'll see him when we come back here in just a moment. Waiting on us. Referee Kevin Christian signals for the bell, and here we go, Corey.
We're underway, Dave. Tony DiNucci. Our first look at DiNucci. Fine specimen of a wrestler, and he's standing in against Mr. Clyde. Working on that arm, DiNucci flips him over. Drops on the arm of Clyde. Well, he's got that arm bar there tight, too. Tony DiNucci. First look at him in the USWA, Dave.
That's true. Tony DiNucci has wrestled in other federations and with mixed results, but I tell you what, lately he has been on a tear. This young man, good-looking wrestler. Look at that. He's got good control as he puts Mr. Clyde down on the mat. They're looking for big things out of this young man right here, Mr. DiNucci. Let's see what he does in this match.
Oh, indeed. I think all of the fans are going to really like the way this guy wrestles. He can go. Look at DiNucci. Fly over with that elbow, and Clyde just falls flat on his face in there.
That's got to be impressive right there. Certainly, if you're Mr. Clyde, you got to be impressed with Tony DiNucci.
Clyde laying out on the mat. DiNucci climbing the ropes. He's up on the top one there now. Comes down off of it. Wow. What a splash on it. Clyde, boy, what a long way to come. DiNucci covers him and gets the quick 1, 2, 3. What a good-looking win.
He came on with that splash 3/4 of the way across the ring.
Boy,
Mike Miller jumping DiNucci from behind. Bert Prentice out here with Leslie Bellinger. And now Prentice climbing into the ring. Mr. Clyde is left. Look at this. DiNucci, though. He's working over Miller. Miller may wish he had jumped in here. Now Bert Prentice gets knocked down. Look out here.
Oh, here comes Mike Samples, yeah.
DiNucci back to work on Miller. And he turns to Samples. Miller knocks him down from behind. Look out.
Oh, Miller's got him laid out, stretched out there, he and Samples. Here comes Prentice off the rope.
Oh, boy.
All of that weight he's got, yeah, and that big splash. Right on DiNucci. Prentice comes again. Oh, here comes up for Tony. The key, Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett come out. There goes Prentice, Miller, Samples, and Leslie Ballinger. They all head out of here.
Yeah, that got him out of the way, and looks like Tony is all right. He's being checked on by the King and Jeff Jarrett. I tell you what, while order is restored, Leslie Ballinger out here. Leslie Bellinger, let's take a look at what happened last week. Remember, they kind of got into it in the crowd here and ended up having a match, she against Regina Hale. Take a look at that action right here.
Wow, an edge man. Cat fight indeed. Oh, Leslie Ballinger trying to get out of the ring over there. Regina Hale just grabbed her and pulled her down. They're rolling all over the canvas in there, all over the mat as Leslie Ballinger. Oh, she gets out of there, but look at Mike Miller go over, and now Regina Hale over there. Covered her with a right hand. Mike Prentice is in the ring. He grabs Regina, slams her down, kicks away at Regina, and falls down with a big splash on her. Yeah, Frank Morrell's going to call for the bell.
Well, Ms. Bellinger, you showed up as Mike Miller's only fan here, and the question is if you folks have had a relationship for some time.
That's none of your business. Well, a fine journalistic scholar like you asking a question like that.
Well, it's obvious they know each other.
It's none of your business. What I'd like to know, Miss Texas is showing her face around here again. I am ordering before Leslie can ever have a match with Miss Texas. I want a hormonal test done on that man, woman, whatever she is. I have a sneaking suspicion she's a man. She's not all what she's cut out to be.
It's ridiculous what you're saying here.
Eddie Marlin wants Leslie to go in the ring with Miss Texas right off the bat, and hey, she's going to be a world champion. Not till we get a hormonal test. Because Miss Texas,
Look.
I know you better than anyone. Look at this. This looks like a man. I want your hormones tested, and then we'll have the match.
Listen here, fat boy. You're the one that need your hormone tested. I know who you are, but honey, I don't know what you are.
No, Jackie Moore. Does that ring a bell? That sounds like a man's name to me, Miss Texas. You need the test, and you're going to get it, the test, before this lady ever goes in the ring. Because I will not have a woman wrestling a man. That's not right.
Oh, that's ridiculous, Bert.
Listen here, tramp. You better keep your nose clean, because if you get in my business, I will slap the taste out of your mouth.
Shut up!
Don't let her talk to you like that. What you doing talking to me like that?
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh, boy, they're out there. And, oh,
Boy, I tell you.
yeah.
Oh, look out, here come the Eagles right here. And finally, well, they're back at it. Mike Miller being pulled away by the American Eagles.
Look
That's
at
Bert Prentice trying to pull Miss Texas out of the way here. Oh, throws her into the ring. Look out. And here, Leslie Bellinger goes in there after. And Prentice, too. Wow, look at that. Look at Miss Texas.
Miss Texas went to work on Leslie Ballinger. And look at Prentice over here. He gets up and grabs Miss Texas. Miss Texas on Prentice. She's holding her own here today.
She sure
Look
is.
out, though.
Look out from
Here comes
behind.
Leslie Ballinger back in there.
Leslie Ballinger grabbing her. Meanwhile, down on the floor, the American Eagles are able to keep Mike Miller out of it, so it's only 2 against 1 as far as Miss Texas is concerned in there, instead of 3 against 1. Leslie Bellinger now with the upper hand, thanks to an assist from Bert Prentice.
Yeah, she's on top of Miss Texas over there, and they got Miss Texas down. Prentice coming off those ropes again with another splash, this time on Miss Texas. Kicks away on an Eagles comeback, and there goes Prentice out of there.
Yep,
Mike Miller grabs Leslie Bellinger. Boy,
that'll wrap that up as finally Miller, Bellinger, and Bert Prentice head out of here after another disgusting display by them. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Before we get more action going in the ring here, I want to take just a moment because here comes the King right here. And get a few comments from him. He's got that unified title, holding it in his hand, greeting the many fans that he has as he comes around the area here. You know, it's tough sometimes to get him over here for an interview because he got so many people that want to shake hands, say hi to him as he comes by. Wearing the sweater of the Cleveland Browns. A week or so ago, you promised that the Browns were going to win one for your birthday, and they did.
Well, they did. They barely pulled it out over the Bears, didn't they? It was a good little win there, and the Bears went down to defeat. But, hey, can we get a... So this is one of the greatest studio audiences I think we've ever had here. How about it? Look at that.
Good group.
Good group. Bunch of nice young people. Got some Boy Scouts over there. Everybody. Get them on TV a little bit there. I want to come out and explain, just take a couple of seconds here to explain where I was last week. You know, I wasn't on the card last Monday night.
True.
As a matter of fact, I'm not on the card again this Monday night, and I want to explain why. Then I'm going to explain. I also brought a little tape along here to show you what a thing that I did. Jeff and I went up and did this past week also, involving a little movie. I was in a movie.
Ooh, all right.
In a movie. I'll show you that in just a second. But first of all, I wanted to say, you know, a few months ago, there was a sort of a challenge issued and a challenge accepted, or at least we thought it was accepted. Jeff Jarrett came out and went. Well, he actually went down to the Pyramid down here when the WWF was in town and bought a ticket, went to the matches. Jeff stood up, got up into the ring and challenged Bret Hart to a title match because Jeff was, as I said, you know, he was carrying the banner for the USWA against the WWF, and Bret Hart accepted his challenge, but you see that match never materialized. Bret Hart said that he would come back and wrestle Jeff, but he's never come back and wrestled Jeff. Now, it's true, Vince McMahon and the WWF, I guess they got in contact with Eddie Marlin, and in my opinion, what I think they try to do is sort of just kind of smooth the situation over. They sent some wrestlers in here, like the Bushwhackers and Sergeant Slaughter and a couple of guys like that, but they didn't send anybody in for any title matches. They didn't send anybody in for Jeff to wrestle, to try to win the championship. They didn't send anybody in for me to wrestle, to try to defend this championship. And last week, there was a match scheduled. Vince McMahon had contacted Eddie Marlin and said, okay, we're going to send you one of our top wrestlers because we want our wrestler to have a shot at the USWA Championship and Jerry Lawler. And then, you know, I mean, this may all be, it may have really happened, but it seems like it's just a little bit too convenient to me, and especially when I tell you what else has taken place. Last week, on Friday night, the night before the TV show, with the match already booked, when we were ready to come out here and tell you about the WWF wrestler who's going to come down and wrestle me, Eddie gets a call from Vince McMahon and says, well, that guy's injured. He got hurt in a match last night. He's not going to be able to be there Monday night. So what that did right there, and he said, well, can you send a replacement? He said, we don't have anybody else available at this time. So that left me sitting without a match last Monday night. Now, he calls him back earlier this week, said, well, okay, we got this guy. He's well now. He's ready to come back. We'll have him there this Monday night. I get here today, and Eddie Marlin tells me that he gets another call last night from Vince McMahon and says the guy's injured again. So he's not going to be there again this Monday night. And that's why I say these things just look a little too fishy to me. What I think the situation is that the WWF don't want to send anybody down here to challenge for this title, because the fact is they know they don't have anybody up there that can beat me for this belt, because all of the people sit out there, and especially the WWF, all their superstars, they tell everybody how great they are, but when it gets right down to it, they don't want to go against me one-on-one. They don't want to go against the USWA one-on-one, because they are afraid that if we come out on top, then they're going to be sitting there with egg on their face, and they're going to have to eat crow, and they're going to have to admit to everybody that our wrestling right here in Memphis, Tennessee is not just as good, but is better than what they got in the WWF. And that's all I got to say about it. If you got anybody in the WWF that is man enough to face me, get them down here, Vince McMahon, because I'm sick of sitting around and not being wrestling in my own hometown.
Okay, Jerry.
Clear enough. If I'm
Absolutely. Before you leave, though, you mentioned something about where you and Jeff were this week.
Okay, that's right. Tuesday, Jeff and I had a real unique opportunity to go. We flew up to Toronto, Canada, and we got, I don't know how big it's going to be. We got a couple of parts in a movie that Walt Disney, that the Disney company is filming. It's going to be a Touchstone picture. And it stars one of the guys that has been in one of the biggest grossing movies of all time, Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox. And I'll tell you what, the scene, there's a little scene in there where Jeff and I are wrestling, and Michael J. Fox comes down to the ring. I get to pick him up over my head, spin him around a couple times. I threw him onto Jeff, and then Jeff throws him off onto the mat and out of the ring. So naturally, they had a stunt double that we were going to do this with. But actually, at the end of the day, we were filmed on this thing for about 13 hours. At the end of the day, Michael J. Fox said, I think I can do that. So we actually did it with Michael. But anyway, I brought along just a little. They told me later after I brought my camera there, they said, hey, we don't allow cameras backstage or anything. But anyway, I got a little footage. There's Jeff in the makeup chair. He was getting a little makeup put on. And I'm telling the lady I don't need makeup because I'm going to be wearing a mask in this thing. This guy here, this was Michael J. Fox's stunt double. This is the guy that we wound up throwing around the ring a whole lot. This is a little girl that's in the movie. She thought she was the greatest thing since sliced bread, the little brat. But anyway, no, you got your fill of her real quick. But she was nice. This was just some of the behind-the-scenes stuff there. They are getting ready to shoot some of the scenes. They had the movie cameras there, and they had this arena set up in a big university there. The guy in the green coat with the blue cap is named Mark Lawrence. He wrote Family Ties. He also wrote this movie. The guy that he's directing, that he's talking to there, is the director. And they're getting ready to set up a little scene where out in the audience there are a bunch of kids. Michael J. Fox plays, the name of the movie is Life with Mikey, and Michael J. Fox plays guy that started as a child actor. See that guy there? They have a stunt double for Michael. They also have a lighting double. That guy sitting back there, he just sort of looks like Michael J. Fox, so he gets to sit around until they get all the lighting done right, and he does all the rehearsals, and then when they get ready to shoot the scene, he gets up out of the chair, and Michael comes in out of the trailer and sits down, and he only has to work for a few seconds, and this guy here. Now here's the little scene with the stunt double up over the head. I throw him onto Jeff, who falls, and then he in turn throws him off of there, and that was the stunt double. What we did later on wind up doing it with Michael J. Fox, and I think I had a little... and then there's the little girl that he brings down. I get to pick her up there, and we sing happy birthday to her after the match. And as I said, this is where they said you're not supposed to have cameras in there. So here we are getting ready to shoot the scene, and there I am with a wrestling mask on. Jeff is over there, and I'm telling Michael J. Fox, I said, look, Michael, I got a camera right over here hidden. So if you'll come over and say hi to all the people in Memphis, wave at them. And here said, there's what I think of Memphis. No, not really. Anyway, that's there we were just getting ready to shoot the scene with Michael J. Fox, and that'll be coming out sometime this summer, hopefully. But anyway, I won't take up any more of your time. I guess, Corey, do you mind if I come down there and sit with you Monday night at the announcer's table? Because thanks to the WWF, it looks like I'm just going to be watching the matches. But there are going to be some good ones, and I may, just like I did here, I may have to get involved some kind of way, okay?
All right.
See you all Monday.
Very good. Thank you, King. Point well taken on all of that. Well, I almost hate to get to this part right here. I remember the last time we had a video on this guy right here, but there's a new one. Take a look, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Christopher.
If you're looking for trouble, you came to the right place. If you're looking for trouble, just look right in my face. I was born standing up and talking back. My daddy was a green-eyed mountain jack because I'm evil. My middle name is Mary. Yeah. Well, I'm evil. So don't you mess around with me.
Now, I know these people might think different, but I'm really a nice guy, okay?
I never looked for trouble, but I never ran. I don't take no orders, no kind of man. I'm only made out, flesh, blood, and bone. But if you're gonna start a rumble, don't you try it hard, because I'm evil. My middle name is Mary. Well, I'm evil. Oh, don't you mess around with me.
Well, there he is, Brian Christopher. Thank goodness the video's fairly short. Just seems long. Well, here he comes right here, along with Bert Prentice and Mike Samples, I might add. The Southern heavyweight belt around his waist, the Texas title slung over his shoulder, Brian Christopher.
How'd you like that new video, Dave?
Well, it showed
Wasn't it great? It had me in it the whole way, all the way through it, didn't it? And you know what, Dave? I'm so happy today. I'm happy today because you know why?
Why?
This week I finally have that punk Jeff Jarrett in a match. I finally have Jeff Jarrett, the golden boy, simply irresistible. I finally got him in a match, and you know, usually the challenger comes and asks for a match against the champion. But that was not the case this week. I had to go to Eddie Marlin and beg. I had to get down on my knees, if you can believe it, and beg him to put Jeff Jarrett in the ring with me. Because, Jeff Jarrett, you make me sick. You make me sick to my stomach. Jeff Jarrett, I want all these people to know about you. I know for a fact that Jeff Jarrett had a limousine drive him to and from school every single day. I know for a fact that Jeff Jarrett never has worked at a real job one day in his life. I know that Jeff Jarrett, when he was a little boy, had an English nanny that used to take care of him. I know that Jeff Jarrett, when he was a little boy, had his hair professionally done. I don't know when he started pumping it full of peroxide, but I know when he was a little boy, he had it professionally done. And that is exactly why, Jeff Jarrett, I want you in the ring. Because now you have got to step in there with a real man. A real man. And I'm talking man with a capital M. That's me. M-A-N. You look up man in the dictionary, there's a big picture of Brian Christopher right beside the definition. Isn't that right? That's exactly right. And Jeff Jarrett, you're in over your head this week because you've got to get in there with a real man. And a lot of real men have tried to take this belt away from me, but I've beat them all, and I've sent them on their way, and Jeff Jarrett, you're next.
That's my boy. Ain't he great?
Oh, well, he talks a great game. There's no doubt about it. I must say he's been able to back up a lot of it, but he's done a lot of that backing up with chains, too. Right, Corey? We've seen a chain make many appearances. Bert Prentice has gone to ringside. Mike Samples hanging around the desk over here.
I don't know what for.
Dave, do you know what today is?
Yeah, but I don't know what you have in mind. What?
Today is the start of my new year. New Year's coming early. This is the greatest day in USWA history. I am now associated as a personal administrator of Mr. Brian Christopher, the greatest wrestler that's ever been in this territory or any other. He's got all the belts, and there's going to be even more. Look what he's doing to his opponent.
He's got 2 belts. He's tough. There's no doubt about it. He's talented, but he uses shortcuts.
Well, you know, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. He's a little brash, a little cocky, but that's just the youth. That's the spirit coming out in him.
How about a lot of brash and a lot of
He takes the shortcuts. Corey, just go back to sleep, will you? He takes the shortcuts because he's anxious to succeed. Now, Jeff Jarrett, as you know, I've been in the ring with Jeff Jarrett, and what an opponent he is. He's won up-team matches, hundreds and hundreds. He's a great wrestler. He's maybe, well, this match is over.
Yeah, you're right.
You know how good Jeff is. This will be the biggest challenge ever for Brian Christopher, but I'm not going to throw a wet blanket on it because I know that Brian Christopher will succeed and will succeed with ease. And when it's all over, goodbye, Jeff Jarrett. Hello, Brian Christopher.
We need to get him out of here.
Goodbye,
We've got
Brian
another match.
Christopher,
Goodbye, Brian Christopher is a good thing to say right now. If you're his personal, a personal assistant, accountant, whatever it is, if you and Mr. Prentice would escort him out of here, we would be grateful because we got another match scheduled.
Look at
this guy. This is ridiculous.
I have advised him to show off a little bit for the crowd today. They normally don't get to see him do, you know, all of his stuff.
He's taken your advice, and I don't think he needed any advice. He shows off every chance he gets. Look at this. Just trying to humiliate Freezer Thompson in there. This is one guy who loves his FaceTime on camera, let me tell you. Well, I tell you what, I know how we can get this stopped.
Yeah.
Let's ring the bell and let's get this next one. Let's get the next one underway.
Yeah, it's time for the next bout. Christopher got his foot over there on Freezer.
Because I don't think Christopher knows who's scheduled in the next match. But let's see if we can get them out here. And I guarantee you, when Brian Christopher sees who's in the next match, he'll be out of here quickly. Well, he just continues to work.
Yeah, he nails away on Freeze over there, though. Samples gets his 2 cents in the thing. And there's Freezer Thompson after taking a well of a beating from Brian Christopher. And Christopher continues to just beat away on Freezer.
Yep, still going at it.
We rung the bell, and these guys just won't get out of here.
I'm going to try one more time and see if I can get Jeff out here. And let's see if we can do. Oh, look at that! That's just, man, I tell you.
Now that's disgusting.
It is. You just want to. Everybody, I think, wants to walk up and just pop him one.
Yeah. Oh, indeed.
And look at Samples now, for heaven's sake. Samples over here interfering with our commentary on the match. I don't think you got more than 2 or 3 words out during that one, Corey. Samples over here running his mouth. There he go, right here. Watch Mr. Christopher leave now as Jeff Jarrett arrives in the ring. Oh, well, maybe not. He invites him over here.
Yeah, he said, yeah, come on.
Jeff is scheduled against a different opponent here today. But if Brian wants to stay and fight, we'll show it. Oh, yeah, come on and hit me, he says.
What's this all about? What's this all about, Dave Brown?
Well, I'll tell you what it's all about. You advised him to stay out here and show off, and sometimes when you take shortcuts, you get lost. And I think maybe the shortcut didn't work out this time for Brian Christopher.
Yeah.
Well, I see Jeff Jarrett wanted to get his face on camera today.
Jeff Jarrett's got a match scheduled. He's supposed to be here. Not worth his time, says Brian Christopher. That's been the trick.
Did you see Jeff Jarrett back away from Brian Christopher?
No, I didn't.
That's my boy. Ain't he great?
I saw Brian Christopher leaving.
You want to see Brian Christopher and Jeff Jarrett in a match, you buy a ticket. It's not for free, Dave.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's part of the thinking of Mr. Samples there. Yeah,
Boy, good to get those
buy the
guys
ticket.
out here.
Well, I don't know. Those guys, I tell you what. But it looked to me like Brian Christopher was backing up. He was talking a good game there for a second, but when Jeff got serious, Christopher wanted no part of him, and that has been exactly what's happened every time they had the possibility of facing each other up till now. But the match has been signed.
Oh, it's on for this week, and look out for it when it happens, too. Jeff Jarrett goes after Mr. Paradise, picks up Paradise, and slams him down hard. Jarrett going to work on Paradise over there. Jeff picks up Paradise and a big suplex on it. Jeff Jarrett takes Mr. Paradise, whips him in hard. Paradise comes off to a big forearm from Jarrett. Oh, look at Paradise in reversal. Jeff comes off. Wanted to go for the DDT that time, but caught Paradise backwards there. Paradise comes off and catches a big drop kick from Jeff. Covers him, 2, 3. He got him. There's your winner, Jeff Jarrett. He takes care of Mr. Paradise, and I've got to believe he'll do the same for Brian Christopher.
I agree with you. Very impressive, and Jeff is saying, all right, if Christopher wants more, come on out here. Let me point out something, too. Brian Christopher won it with Bert Prentice in the corner with Mike Samples out here. You know, he had a chain in his tights if he needed it. Jeff Jarrett came out. None of that. He just beat his opponent straight up and invited Christopher out here, and I don't see Christopher anywhere around.
Jeff.
Yeah, he's gone, Jeff, and I doubt he may have even left the building by now. We'll be back with more USWA action right after this.
Can't say that
A couple of minutes ago. Take a look right now. This special look at Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, he did. Every brotherhood
special look at Jeff Jarrett, and here's another special look at Jeff Jarrett right here. Here he comes. I want to take a moment to talk to Jeff about this match coming up here against Brian Christopher. Christopher, to give you a little history on it, Jeff, of course, has been in line as the challenger for the Southern Heavyweight title for some time, but Christopher has kept dodging him, much as he did earlier here today. He comes out and talks a good game, but then when it comes right down to come on and climb in the ring, he tends to climb out of there. However, as we pointed out earlier, this contract is signed. Jeff, congratulations today, and congratulations on finally getting Christopher signed to a match.
Well, you're exactly right on that one word, Dave, finally. You know, ever since me and Jerry lost the tag belts, unfortunately, but I was trying to get a Southern title match against Brian Christopher, and I tried, and I'm not going to come out here and try to have a rebuttal for every lie that Brian Christopher said just a few minutes ago, because there's no sense in that. But these people and the people sitting at home, they're no dummies, Dave, and nobody is. And Brian, you just have to look at each other. You can look how I conduct myself and look how you conduct yourself, and everybody can tell who the real spoiled brat is, huh? But you know, Dave, when I found out I finally got this Southern title match, I got to thinking. I said, man, I finally got it. And Brian Christopher wants to call himself a champion. Well, growing up, you know, of course, I used to go to all my dad's matches. I tried to go to as many as I could. And I was very proud of him, and I thought he had really a great career. And the one area that just Dad thinks he fell short in, and I guess some people say, but I don't really agree with it, but is the Southern Heavyweight title. He never was the Southern Heavyweight champion. There's been some great champions down the line. Tex Riley, Jackie Fargo, Don Green. Of course, you can't leave out Jerry Lawler. I mean, he may be the greatest Southern Heavyweight champion.
Held it a long time.
A long time. So there's an awful big shoes to follow, and I don't think Brian Christopher's doing a very good job of it. But I know one thing. I'm going to do everything I can to win that belt. And, you know, I don't even call Brian a champion. He just holds the belt. But this week I've got my shot, and I just want to tell you one thing, Brian Christopher. I'm going to do everything in my power to win that belt. And, Dad, when I do, this one's for you.
Hey. All right, Jeff Jarrett. There's the word about that Southern Heavyweight title. Also a former holder of the belt and a great one, looking to get it back from Brian Christopher. And let's just see what happens this week. A few words about the entire situation from Eddie Marlin. So if we have that, let's listen to what Eddie has.
I was just sitting here at the desk looking at the calendar. Thanksgiving is behind us, and boy, is another holiday staring us right in the face. And that makes you think 1992 is almost history. It's almost gone. It's been a good year. We've enjoyed having all you fans coming out to the matches. Hopefully you enjoyed the matches. I know it's been hard on a lot of people. And you know, if it wasn't for the wrestling fans, it wouldn't be a wrestling office. It wouldn't be a USWA. So the USWA would like to take this opportunity to give something back. The kids, you know, Christmas time's for kids, the month of December. So during the remainder of the month of December, children 12 and under with a paid adult will be admitted to general admission free of charge. That's to all the USWA matches. 12 and under with a paid adult free to general admission. You know, we strive to bring you the best in wrestling that we can possibly do, because we know without a doubt you are the best wrestling fans. So I thank you for 1992, and we're looking forward for 1993.
Great news there from Eddie. Thank you very much, Eddie, and thank you, fans, and I echo his sentiments about the greatest fans anywhere. We'll be back with more action in a moment. There's so much action coming up at the USWA, we're still trying to sort it out right here. But, Corey, take a shot at it.
Yeah, we'll start with Thursday night, December 10th, Covington, Tennessee, 7:30 bell time there in Covington. National Guard Armory, you'll see the King, Jerry Lawler, Brian Collins on the card. The American Eagles will be there. Moondogs on the card. Brian Christopher, Jeff Gaylord, all in Covington, Tennessee. That's coming up Thursday night in Covington. And Wynn, Arkansas, Friday night, December 11th, 7:30 there at the Knights of Columbus building there in Wynn. Moondogs on the card. Jeff Gaylord, the King, Jerry Lawler, Brian Christopher, American Eagles, all in the Knights of Columbus Hall there. And
What is this?
Coco.
Coco where?
1 minute, Dave. You know,
Coco, we're doing out of town right
I can't help what we're doing out of town, but I had to come down here to, to let something happen here because I want to know what's going on around here because I am sick and tired of what's happening here. I'm sitting at home watching the USWA, and every time I'm watching the USWA, Jerry Lawler's got to knock WWF.
Well, his opponent didn't show 2 weeks in a row.
That's a bunch of baloney. See, the fans don't realize what's going on in the wrestling business. But they realize what Lawler comes out here and talk about. Lawler tells them everybody's afraid of Jerry Lawler. Everybody in the WWF is afraid of Jerry Lawler. Well, nobody's afraid of Jerry Lawler. You know that.
Well, I know his opponent hadn't shown up for 2 weeks, and he's conveniently hurt.
Well, let me tell you one thing. I will give someone some credit, and that's Jeff Jarrett. He came down to the Pyramid. He bought a ticket. He stepped in the ring. And he challenged the Hitman Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Belt. But I'm telling you one thing, but you see, when Jeff did that, he got a lot of pride. He got a lot of guts. He had a lot of nerve to do that. And ever since then, Jeff Jarrett has been wrestling in Madison Square Garden. Jeff Jarrett has been in the Boston Garden. Where has Jerry Lawler been? Where was Jerry Lawler? Why did he come down to the Pyramid? If he called himself the king, why did he come down to the Pyramid?
Well, I don't know. I think it was a thing that Jeff really felt strongly about, and it doesn't. I don't think
you know where Jerry Lawler was at. He was hanging around the Cleveland Browns, those losers that can't even bow a match, can't even bow a football win. That's where he was at.
Well, I don't know where he was, but the point that, as I see it, is that Jerry does have matches which have been scheduled 2 weeks in a row.
I can't help it. You know, Dave Brown, if something's wrong, you know, Jerry Lawler just like that fat Buddy Wayne Pill, always knocking everybody. Everything you do, he's got to knock this, knock this. With Jerry Lawler, come on here. I'm one of the WWF guys. Come on out here now.
Well, he's around. I don't know. He was here earlier.
You call yourself the king? Come on out here, you sissy. Hey, come on out here right now, baby.
Now, here he is, right here.
Because he would give his left beat, Dave Brown, to be a part of the WWF.
I'm not sure that's true, Coco. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I understand you're upset. He had some harsh things to say about the WWF, but maybe with good reason.
I want to know one thing, Lawler. Why is every time you come out here on this TV show here, you always got to be knocking WWF? You think that we're afraid of you? Huh? Do you think?
Now, what are you guys doing out here, for heaven's sake?
He's a friend.
Wait a minute.
Don't turn your back on him, Coco.
Don't turn your back on them.
You're used to doing things professionally.
Hey, you just hush and be quiet, okay? Just a minute. I want to talk to you because I'm sick and tired of every time I'm sitting at home. I got a few days off. I'm still with the WWF. And you know you would give your left beat to be in the ring with the WWF. You know that.
Hey, look, let's get one thing straight, Coco Ware. Yeah, you're with the WWF.
That's right.
You started out right here in this area in front of all of these wrestling fans right here. You start out, but you know what you did, Coco Ware? You saw something that you thought was greener pastures. You thought was going to be something bigger and better. So what you did, you left all of these fine people right here and you went off to the WWF. Well, the difference between me and you is I love these fans right here, and I'm going to stay right here and wrestle right here.
Oh, you don't think I don't love them? I love them, too. I live here just like you do, punk.
Well, hey, don't be calling me a punk.
Well, that's all you are.
No, if I wanted to be in the WWF, I could be in the WWF.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. If you could be there, you would be there now. No, you know good well you would give your life to be in the WWF.
What I want to be in the WWF for? I just told you if I wanted to be there, I could be there. Okay. I am the USWA heavyweight champion, and I have challenged those jerks in the WWF. And why don't they show up when they're supposed to be down here to wrestle?
The WWF, Jerry Lawler, that's the Lions Den, and you, guys like you, doesn't belong there. That's the reason why if you had the opportunity, you would be in the WWF now.
No, I would not.
Yes, you would.
You think I couldn't? I could be there if I wanted to. I want to be right
there. You go lying again.
No,
you're lying again, Lawler, and you know you're lying.
That's the way you always do. You always do that. You always do that to everybody. You victimize everybody.
Let me say one thing here, Lawler. You saying that you can't get nobody to wrestle you. Well, I'm a part. Wait a minute, Eddie Marlin. No, he wants the match. Wait a minute. I'm from a WWF. I'm in a WWF.
Yeah. Good move, Eddie.
These guys.
No, you know good. Hey, Jeff, you know one thing? Let me tell you. Wait a minute, Jeff. Wait a minute. Let me tell you one thing, Jeff. I would give you. If you want to say something, I'm telling you what.
Hey. Watch it. Hey, get. Come on, what's your Koko? Man, this gotta stop this. This is not the place for it.
Jeff trying to stay in between them. Eddie Marlin's got Koko. Don't hit Eddie.
Come on, Koko.
Look out. Koko's got a chair. Koko. Come on, Koko. All right, Eddie is telling Koko to get out of here.
Yeah,
He's going to have him thrown out of here.
that's the best thing to do. Yeah, head on out of here, would you?
Come on, Samples, you stay out of it, for heaven's sakes. We would have been better off if you and Prentice had stayed out of it anyway.
I'm tired of him knocking my company. When I used to work for you, Eddie Marlin, I hated for someone to knock the USWA.
That's right. But right out here is no place.
You want to match with me? You got it on the time. Come on, you pick WWF.
Well, there they go again. Prentice, will you get out of here, for heaven's sake? With that... Well, Eddie trying to separate him again, along with Jeff.
Hey, you're a big shot, WWF. You want some of me? You got it, pal, anytime you want it. You want it? You got it. Let's see how tough WWF is. Come on. You're WWF. You want it? You got it. All you got to do is say you'd want it.
Yeah.
Tell him you want it. Tell him you want the match. That's all you got to do. Tell him.
Yeah, I want the match. You signed the contract, and I guarantee you, I'll beat you for that world belt. And if I don't, Jerry Lawler, you will never hear or see Koko B. Ware again. I'll beat you for that belt, and I'll take it back to the WWF where it belongs. You understand that?
Yeah, right. Well, you got the match, punk. You're out there calling somebody a punk. You're a punk, and everybody in the WWF's a punk as far as I'm concerned. You understand that?
Come on, what's it? Hey, watch it. Yeah.
All right, Jeff has maybe got Jerry on the way out of here.
The bout's been signed. Let's
Bert, Jerry Lawler, look at him run.
You and Samples do us a favor and help tell Koko it's time.
Yeah.
It's time to go on out of here. Well, this is not the place for this. This should be taken care of in the office. Is where it should be taken care of.
Yeah.
If
That's what Lawler, he just telling the fans a bunch of lies. That's all he's been telling. He knows good well that he had never been to the WWF. He will give his life. He will give his mama. He will give his sister. He will give everybody away to be in a part of WWF, and he knows it. He's a coward.
Let's go. I told you this program's scheduled.
Yeah, hey, come on, Koko. You got the bout signed. Come on, would you?
You can't argue with the man. He spoke the truth, Dave. You know that.
you can argue with him. Lawler doesn't have to go to New York or New Jersey or any place like that. The fact is he's been booked in WWF matches and opponents haven't showed. That's exactly the truth. And we know that for a fact from last week, and we know this week his match was canceled. And Koko, I understand Koko being upset. As we said earlier, Jerry had some harsh things to say.
Jerry got more guts than Jerry Lawler any day of the week because you didn't show up at the pyramid. You didn't show up at all.
Well, again, Koko still not one to get out of here.
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
All right, I'll tell you what, let's do. I was going to try to complete the out-of-town action here if we could, but I don't know, is that going to be possible or not? It looks like they've got Koko. Let's just take a break and we'll regroup here, all right? Boy, what a night Monday night at the Coliseum is shaping up to be now, huh?
Yeah.
As if it weren't good enough to begin with. 7:30 Monday night is when it all begins. Remember the announcement by Eddie just moments ago that children under 12 will be admitted free to general admission when accompanied by a paid adult admission.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, opening match of the night. Boy, this one looks terrific right here. You got the American Eagles. You put them in there against Randy Rhodes and Jeff Daniels, and that'll get things going. The Eagles have really caused some excitement here in the USWA.
Good-looking team.
Then you got Mike Miller to be going against Tony DiNucci. They kind of got together here a little bit today. Tony in with a pretty good reputation. As we said lately, he has really been winning a lot of matches. He came in here today and was looking mighty good against his opponent, got the victory, and then all of a sudden Mike Miller was there, and those two will be facing each other for real at the Mid-South Coliseum on Monday night. Then you got Ms. Texas going against Leslie Bellinger with Bert Prentice. Leslie Bellinger, of course, the Mike Miller fan who got involved with another studio audience member a week ago, ended up with a match, and today Prentice out here insulting Ms. Texas about as bad as you can insult somebody, I guess. And these two will go at it Monday night at the Coliseum. Return grudge match. Bill Dundee and Danny Davis will be going against the Masters of Terror. The Masters of Terror have been here for a couple of weeks and have really caused some problems in the USWA. Then Southern Tag Team titles will be on the line. That's right. The Moondogs and Richard Lee will be going against Jeff Gaylord and Mike Fury with Mike Samples in the corner. Mike Fury, I don't know a lot about him. I know he's European and he is huge and he is supposed to be tough, but he and Jeff Gaylord will be teamed up. We know Gaylord, the Missouri Tiger, how tough he can be.
Yeah, but look at their opponents.
Yeah, exactly. Look at those Moondogs with Richard Lee. The Southern titles, tag titles, hang in the balance. Then the Southern heavyweight title is on the line as Jeff Jarrett, former champion himself, and one of the finest wrestlers in the history of the USWA, will be finally getting his shot against Brian Christopher. Christopher, he has backed up a lot of what he has said. As we have pointed out, he's done it using a chain a lot of times. He's tough. He has held the Southern title for quite some time, but he has been dodging a match with Jeff Jarrett. No more. It's signed. It'll happen Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. And then we don't have any graphic to show you there, but Eddie Marlin said he is going to add this match and pit Coco Beware against Jerry Lawler. Yeah. Both of them said they wanted the match, so he's going to put it on the card for Monday night down at the Coliseum, so that'll be the special added main event of the night down there. Boy, what a night. Make your plans to be there. If you hadn't planned to be there already, you might want to change plans and go on down to the Mid-South Coliseum Monday night at 7:30 for great USWA wrestling action. We'll be back here with more after this. Match schedule right here with Danny Davis and the superstar Bill Dundee in action. Maybe on the way to the ring we can get him to stop by here and have a couple of words with him about some of the action which has occurred and is going to be coming up around the USWA. Here they are right here. Bill Dundee leading the way and Danny Davis right behind. Boy, what a team these two guys are. Let me tell you, a couple of tough veteran single wrestlers in addition to being a great tag team together. Hello, Bill.
Hey, Billy, how you doing?
Good to have you here today. What a wild couple of weeks.
Around here, Well, I'm going to tell them Masters of Terror something. Now, last week, we can't sell you short, boys. You got a little victory over the Eagle and the Superstar. But you stole that. It was like going down to the bank and instead of cashing a check, you just took the money, brother, and that's exactly what you done. Now, this week, you got Danny Davis and Bill Superstar Dundee. And we told y'all last week that there was two Eagles, and Danny Davis and Bill Dundee, and we proved that to you. And Eagles are on the card again this week, aren't they?
That's right, they are.
Well, that's all right, boys, but you're going to face Danny Davis and Bill Dundee. And as sure as he's Danny Davis and I'm Bill Dundee, we're going to beat you, boys, and we're going to take them masks off and just see how big and bad and ugly you really are. Now, you can run around town and say you done beat the Eagles, but that'll be the only time you can do it because you stole that victory, boys. And Dave, we thank you.
All right, Bill, thank you. And okay, Dan. Danny didn't have a lot to add, I guess, but I guess Bill Dundee pretty well did say it all right there. They head for the ring. They're the kind of guys you like to see because they do their talking right there in the middle of that square circle, and that's where they are headed at the moment. Their opponent should be coming this way, and we will be underway with another one-fall 15-minute time limit match. Tag team action coming up from the USWA today. already it's been a wild, wild day here, let me tell you, with the goings-on in between times, and we've had Brian Christopher in action, Jeff Jarrett in action here today, and Tony DiNucci, a new look at a young man who is new to the USWA.
Yeah, looks
and
good, too.
Very, very promising. Yes, indeed. I tell you what, he was most impressive in his match here today. Inspection by the referee, trying to ensure that they don't bring hammers and chains and all that sort of thing into the ring. Danny Davis is starting for his team, and he's going against Jeff Hollywood. Here's Corey Macklin.
Thank you, Dave Brown. We're underway. Nightmare Danny Davis takes Hollywood, flips him over. Boy, when you talk about hot action, you got to mention the USWA. It is on fire right about now.
Week after week, the best wrestling action you'll find.
Indeed, anywhere around. Thank you for tuning in and joining us for it, too. Danny Davis and Hollywood. Tangling up, Hollywood tags the Shadow in the ring. Runs in out of parts unknown. Danny flips the Shadow over. Got a cover out of it, only one, though. Nightmare Danny Davis comes in out of Pensacola, Florida, and this guy, he can wrestle. He is a veteran of a wrestler. He'll put some moves on you. That boy is hard to get out of, and let me tell you, you can look at him and try to figure out how to get out of him.
I tell you what, he is something else. Remember when he started, young man out of Jackson, Tennessee, as you mentioned, now lives in Florida, but boy, I tell you what, Danny Davis, he never lets up.
Indeed. Goes after the Shadow over there. Works that left leg on the Shadow over, and the Shadow runs over and tags Jeff Hollywood. Takes Hollywood down by his left leg, and Hollywood gets the same treatment. Locks that leg of Jeff Hollywood. Danny Davis holds on and hangs on to Hollywood in there. Boy, he's got that leg. Got it hooked and got it bent back there, too. A lot of pressure on that left leg of Hollywood. And he slams down on it again, right in the thigh there, on that leg. Takes Jeff Hollywood up. Sets him up.
Backbreaker, yeah, that backbreaker is tough to recover from. Jeff Hollywood still going at it, but not much.
He's got to recover from a lot from Danny Davis as Danny goes after him.
You're right, including that slam.
Yeah, hard one, too. He hit the canvas pretty tough in there. Danny! Working over Jeff Hollywood. It's been all Danny Davis for his team. Taking care of the Shadow and Hollywood in there. Tag on the Shadow. He comes back in, and Danny holds on to it. Tags the superstar, Bill Dundee. Oh, little twisteroo on the Shadow, and they clobber with a couple of big right hands. Man said, we want the mask. They want that mask off the Shadow in there. Getting everything but the mask so far. Danny said, hell, you want the mask?
Yeah, Danny's going after it.
Going after it, yeah.
He's still making progress. Now the referee turns and he calls for a break on Danny. Danny could get disqualified if he continues to fool with that mask.
Well, Danny's got part of it untied over there.
I think he got it unlaced, but that's about it. Oh, look at Dundee over to have a little insult to injury there with a boot on the side of the face.
The boot right onto the Shadow over there. Danny Davis goes after Hollywood and just takes Hollywood and throws him onto the concrete floor there. There he is, laid out on the floor, and Danny goes after the Shadow, nails him on the outside of the ring, pulls him in there with him now, takes the Shadow and whips him in. Shadow comes off. Boy, he goes flying in air there. Big backdrop from Danny Davis. Danny going after that mask again. Fans say they want the mask, and Danny Davis goes out. Oh, look out!
Look out, Masters of Terror.
Yeah, here comes the Masters of Terror in here.
And wouldn't you know, Mike Samples and Bert Prentice
leading them on. Boy, I had enough of them.
Boy, I've had enough of them for a long time.
Masters of Terror. Oh, boy.
Pile driver on Danny Davis.
Yeah, he just pile drive Danny in there. They go after Danny and Dundee. Mike Samples is over nailing Dundee while the Master of Terror is choking him over there. Ian Prentice over there choking Dundee. God, get him out of here.
They've got Dundee all tied up in the ropes, choking him. Meanwhile, Samples is choking Danny Davis now with a Master of Terror across the way.
Boy, these Masters of Terror, we saw it for the first time last week, and they're nothing but trouble in here. They're not scheduled to be out here yet. They all jumped on Dundee and Davis, with Samples and Prentice leading the way, and Prentice all hand claps. Boy, Master Terror climbs the ropes over there while Danny's out and drops down, yeah. Oh, boy.
Look at Samples. It's 4 against 2. 4 against 2. And that's one way. Here comes some help right here. Now 4 against 4. And look out. All of a sudden, especially Prentice and Samples say, gentlemen, we have an appointment somewhere else as they leave as Lawler and Jarrett arrive. And
Prentice, why don't you stay out of the action in here?
Jerry Lawler sticking his nose where it don't belong.
Oh, come on. You guys came out here and interfered in the whole thing. For heaven's sakes, let's take a break right now. We'll be back. Keep the show up. We're back, fans. Joined, wouldn't you know, by Bert Prentice and Mike Samples.
Michael, grace the people with your eloquent speech.
Have you noticed today, Dave, how we're involved in a lot of things?
I sure have, and I'm not happy about it, and the fans aren't either. You can tell by listening to them.
Well, I'm really not worried about the fans or you. What I'm so happy about is that I am now the personal administrator to all of the real wrestling talent like this in the USWA. Brian Christopher, number one, he's got the belts. He's going to keep the belts, and he's going to get every belt that he can possibly get because he's a real man. He coached that a while ago, didn't he?
He did. He was very emphatic about that.
But he's not afraid of anybody or anything, and he's going to do all he can to help me and to help himself and Bert and all my associates rule this USWA.
Well, I noticed he was not advancing toward Jeff Jarrett too much. Let me put it that way.
That was under my advice. Don't give these freeloaders anything extra. They can buy a ticket and come see that kind of match. But, you know, I'm sort of like a football coach, I guess. I've got talent here, I've got talent there, and, you know, Brian Christopher is great, but he is only one man. And he can't get the tag team title belts. Well, he probably could by himself, but I think the law requires 2 people. So Jeff Jarrett, Mr. Wrestling himself, you know, is going to go down and get beaten by Brian Christopher in that. And then Jeff Gaylord is going to come down with a new partner, the European champion, Mr. Mike Fury.
Yeah, I understand you had to find another partner for Jeff Gaylord to go for the tag team titles. Perhaps because Brian Christopher is just plain old afraid of the Moondog.
No. Brian Christopher, like I say, is going to take on this golden boy, Mr. Wrestling, Mr. Everything, Jeff Jarrett, and then pound him to the carpet. And then Jeff Gaylord, you know, he could probably beat the Moondogs himself. But he said, give me a partner. This guy is 6'10", 340 pounds with 1% body fat. He's a stud. Almost, well, a lot like Mr. Jeff Gaylord here.
All right, well, we'll wait to see him. We'll wait to see him.
We'll take care of the Moondogs, and then we'll do something else. We may have a big party or something.
Well, the Moondog, I don't have to tell the fans how tough the Moondogs are. Here's Richard Lee right here.
Let me tell you what's going on, all right? I've sit back here in the back all day long and listened to you guys run your mouth and run your mouth. I'm sick and tired of it. So I'll tell you what let's do, boys. You want to sit out here and you're putting all of your money on a snot-nosed kid that's still wet behind the ears and somebody that doesn't have an elevator that goes all the way to the top floor and some other muscle brain goofball. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Anytime you guys see fit, what we'll do is Bert Prentice, you get in the ring. Mike Samples, you get in the ring. Bring this goofball and bring whoever else you want to bring. And I'll take my dogs. I'll take me, and we'll do a little handicap match, all right? And it's a little uneven, I agree. So what you guys need to do is go find some more people to make the odds a little bit even. You know what I mean, Bert Prentice? So anytime, any place you want to do it, boys, let me know, because all we got to do...
Oh, come on. You're just blue because you're yesterday's news. Now get out of here.
What I am is the manager.
I said get out of here. Whoa!
Richard Lee just clobbered Bert Prentice. And look at Gaylord grab Richard Lee. Oh, boy. Ian Samples jump on Lee in there.
3 against 1 now. You got Prentice over here. Look at Samples beating up on him, and now he turns for Jeff Gaylord.
Yeah, boy, this is bad. Prentice and Samples, would you all get out of here? Had enough of that stuff today. They jump in.
Look out!
Uh-oh.
Moondog!
Get out of here. Oh, boy. I don't think you have to tell them any further to get out of here. Moondogs come in. Helping out Richard Lee. They jump on Samples and Prentice. And Gaylord.
Moondogs running him out of here. Prentice is gone. And all that's left, Richard Lee.
Let me say something, Dave Brown. You see this chair? You see this chair? This is my dog's presence, baby. And we're wrapping them around their stinking necks anytime.
Richard Lee with the Moondogs. Well, they cleaned house here. It didn't take them long for Prentice and Samples and Jeff Gaylord to be out of here. There they went. And now if we can get Richard to get the Moondogs under control. We've got another match, and look who's back.
Yeah,
Masters of Terror. This time they're booked in the match. And we will be set to get it going here very shortly. Once the Moondogs are out and we get a referee and opponents in here. Mountain Man Miller is one of the opponents. He comes in. He's got that pig, Arnold the Pig, that he carries with him. And Ricky Hayes, fine young wrestler out of Dyersburg, Tennessee, scheduled to go. Look out. Danny Davis jumps into the ring here.
Here comes Danny Davis in there. I was looking for Ricky Hayes and Mountain Man Miller. Here comes Danny, and Dundee jumps in there on him. Boy, hey, we got a little extra fighting today.
The referee is trying to get it all sorted out here because that's not the match that's scheduled. Danny Davis jumped in on the Masters of Terror. It was 2 against 1, and then all of a sudden, Bill Dundee was there. He throws the other one out of the ring.
Boy, these Masters of Terror are nothing but trouble in here.
Dundee with a chair.
Dundee's got that chair. Goes over and clobbers the Master of Terror. Whoa! Swings it out to him in there. They go heading out of here quickly, too.
Well, look at that, would you? Let's, we'll be back. How about that? Stay with us, man.
Wow, I'm very...
Well, I tell you what. We didn't get to do all of this later on because Coco Ware came out here and issued the challenge. By the way, that match is going to occur Monday night, and the Unified World title will be on the line, too. But let's start over and tell you about the action coming up around the territory.
Yeah, let's try that again. Begins Thursday night. Covington, Tennessee, 7:30 at the National Guard Armory. Big night Thursday night in Covington, as well as Friday night in Wynn, Arkansas, at the Knights of Columbus Hall, and Wynn at the National Guard Armory in Covington. This Thursday and Friday bell time, both at 7:30 p.m. Then Championship Wrestling comes to Osceola, Arkansas. Big night in Osceola. Bell time is at 8 o'clock Friday, December 18th in Osceola. The King, Jerry Lawler, is going to be there. You'll see Jeff Jarrett, Brian Christopher, Miss Texas, Moondogs, and I understand that Bert Prentice has got some kind of Christmas creature he's going to have. Oh, my
goodness. Christmas chaos. Looks interesting there.
Big night in Osceola, Arkansas. Kenton, Missouri is going to be Saturday, December 26th, night after Christmas, 7:30. American Legion building there in Kennett. All of the USWA top stars are scheduled for Kennett. Then Championship Wrestling in Crenshaw, Mississippi. Thursday, December 29th, there at the Crenshaw Gym, sponsored by the Police Department. Tickets on sale at City Hall. Jeff Jarrett, Bill Dundee, all in Crenshaw, Mississippi, Tuesday, December 29th. Then Jonesboro, Arkansas. It's going to be a couple of days before that. It's going to be Sunday, December 27th. Jonesboro, back at the Earl Bell Community Center there on Church Street. Always big action in Jonesboro. Jeff Jarrett, Moondogs, Bill Dundee, all in Jonesboro, Arkansas, back at the Earl Bell Community Center there on Church Street. And as we told you, Championship Wrestling in Crenshaw, Mississippi, Tuesday, December 29th. And then, as well, Jackson, Tennessee, Championship Wrestling in Jackson is going to be at the National Guard Armory there, Tuesday, 7:30, December 17th. Jeff Jarrett, American Eagles on the card. You'll see Ryan Christopher, Miss Texas, Mike Miller, whole lineup for Jackson, Tennessee. And that's not all. Also got Dyersburg, Tennessee, there at the fairgrounds, all of the USWA top stars in Dyersburg. A lot of it going on, and boy, it's hot and rolling to your town. Nothing like being there, seeing it live when it gets there, too.
You took them all the way into 1993 for USWA action. Let me tell you, we're going to be back to 1992 right here in just a moment. Stay with us. Added significance to the action coming up Monday night, which was big already. Opening match, 7:30 at the Mid-South Coliseum. American Eagles will be going against Randy Rhodes and Jeff Daniels. Then Mike Miller will be in there in a single match going against Tony DiNucci. As we introduced you to Tony a little bit earlier today, and as we have said, he looked mighty, mighty good. Oh, he's got a tough opponent in Mean Mike Miller. Miss Texas will be going against Leslie Bellinger. Bert Prentice will be in Leslie's corner there. Those two got into it here today.
Yeah,
it looks
Miss
like
Texas took care of both of them at one time.
And that's exactly right, including Bert Prentice. Thank goodness. There's a lot of cheers for that, too. They'll go at it again Monday night at the Coliseum, this time in the ring. Return grudge match. Bill Dundee and Danny Davis looking for the Masters of Terror, and they handled the Masters of Terror pretty good here just a couple of minutes ago. The Terrors, though, Dundee and Davis figure they've got score to settle with the Masters of Terror after what happened in an earlier match here today, so all of that will occur Monday night, too. Southern Tag Team titles on the line. I tell you what, get a box of popcorn, soft drink, sit back and enjoy. It's Southern Tag Team titles at stake. The Moondogs with Richard Lee probably running wild again against Jeff Gaylord and Mike Fury, the European, which Mike Samples has brought in here. The Southern Tag Team titles will be at stake. Then the Southern Heavyweight title is at stake, too. This should be one of the best single matches in a long, long time at the Mid-South Coliseum. Jeff Jarrett, he wants the Southern title. He wants it bad. He has finally got a match against Brian Christopher. The Southern title hangs in the balance. And then the final added match of the night, Jerry Lawler will be going against Coco Beware from the WWF. And the Unified World title will be on the line. Big night, Monday night at 7:30. For Corey Macklin, I'm Dave Brown. Till next week. So long, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.